Good afternoon. We are offering live interpretation in Spanish during this meeting. If you wish to hear Spanish interpretation, please click the interpretation button at the bottom right of your Zoom screen. You'll see a globe icon. If you are joining via the Zoom smartphone app, select your language by clicking More or the three dots in the bottom right corner of your screen. Select Language Interpretation, then choose Spanish and click Done. If you wish to hear only the interpreter and not the original speakers, be sure to click Mute Original Audio. Everyone must choose a language. Please do not stay in the default off. Estamos ofreciendo interpretación simultánea al español durante esta reunión. Si desea escuchar la interpretación en español, haga clic en el botón Interpretation o Interpretación en la parte inferior derecha de la pantalla Zoom. Verá un icono de globo terráqueo. Si se está uniendo a través de la aplicación Zoom para smartphone, seleccione su idioma haciendo clic en More o Más o en los tres puntos en la esquina inferior derecha de la pantalla. Seleccione Language Interpretation o interpretación del idioma, luego elija Spanish o español y haga clic en Done o listo. Si desea escuchar solo al intérprete y no a los oradores originales, asegúrese de hacer clic en Mute Original Audio o silenciar audio original. Todos deben elegir un idioma. Por favor, no se quede en la posición de apagado predeterminada. Gracias.
Thank you. Thank you, Andrea. So I would like to call this meeting to order at 5:35 p.m. Welcome, School Site Council, to our first official short meeting of the 2023-2024 school year. Thank you in advance for your time today. I know this has been a long afternoon after a work day, and I just really already appreciate the energy that is in this room and the excitement for what's coming ahead. The first item on our agenda is the approval of the minutes. What we always like to do is, as we send out the agenda to the SSC, we always attach the minutes. We ask that you look over those minutes and to see if you have any questions. And because at the meeting, that will be our first thing that we do, is to approve the minutes. So we are going to be approving the minutes from our final meeting of the SSC 22-23, and that's May 18th. And any questions, comments, or discussions for those meeting minutes? So at this point, we just ask all in favor of approving the May 18th SSC minutes, say aye. Aye. Thank you. The next item on our agenda would be under old business, and there is no old business to be addressed today. So our new business, we have 3 items that we're just going to briefly discuss. The first one is particularly relevant after hearing our training. The first one under new business is the appointment of new members to the SSC. We want to make sure that we are striving towards being compliant. We just got the training that we need teachers. We have diligently looked and asked for teachers, and so far we have not had teachers agree to be on SSC. So in the meantime, in the quote unquote from Patricia, with the goal of looking to achieve to get teachers, we want to have an idea that we would have provisionally Rita Gonzalez and Veronica LaRoche join us on SSC as we still try to strive to get those teacher voices and work towards that compliance. So we really appreciate you knowing that you're here kind of provisionally willing to be here. I think you're super powerful voices. This might be a sorry, lots of faces. Knowing that it is provisionally, but I just really think while you're provisional, your voices for, in particular, these Title I families are so powerful for the roles that you have at Albert Einstein. So for now, we want to provisionally take kind of a vote to have you join us as we continue to strive to get the teachers. Any questions, comments, discussions before I ask for a motion to provisionally appoint Rita and Veronica?
It would just be the thing of clarity, just
Yeah.
to make sure it's clear. They're provisionally appointed until classroom teachers are elected or appointed.
That's what I was thinking.
Just want to make sure we have it clear exactly what the provisional statement is.
Right. And my understanding from that training, we could have the teachers elected or appointed based on our bylaws. Okay. Are you okay with that provision, Rita and Veronica?
And just to be clear,
Yeah.
if you don't see me voting, it's because I'm not on the SFP.
Yeah.
I just want to. Everyone's staring at me because I love these guys, but
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah. Andy Travis is our admin designee.
I'm voting where I think Andy's. I'm channeling him.
So is there a motion to provisionally appoint Rita Gonzalez and Veronica LaRoche to the current SSC? Is there a motion?
Make the motion.
Okay. So Sarah W.R. Made the motion to appoint provisionally Rita and Veronica, and Sarah Peterson second the motion. So all in favor to provisionally appoint them to join us at our table for SSC for the 23-24 school year, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, any nay? The motion has passed. So that will be in our minutes, and Michelle will have that conversation with admin and moving forward. Okay. So part of this, this is, you're elected, if you look at our bylaws, terms, so this is part of this agenda item, terms, our bylaws say SSC members shall be elected for a 2-year term. This is where it gets a little bit tricky. It says half or the nearest approximation thereof of each representative group shall be elected during odd years and the remaining number elected during even years. At the first regular meeting of the SSC, each member's current term of office shall be recorded in the minutes of the meeting. That's our terms in the bylaws. So what we need to do is if you were elected in the spring, you were elected for 2 years. But at this point, we need to stagger that. So I know Sarah W.R. Would like just a 1-year term. So I think that's one stagger. So we would, in order to kind of have kind of a balance of 1 year and 2 year, I think for teachers, Brian and I would be 2 year, and then Rita and Veronica, you'd be 1 year. And if the teacher comes on, they would take that 1 year. And then is that enough of a stagger?
I mean, I think it's fine to start because life inevitably happens.
Yeah.
So Julia, Maria, or Sarah, if any of you want to do 1 year as opposed to 2?
I'm okay.
Yeah.
I prefer to do 2, but I'm okay with either. I prefer 2.
I prefer 2.
You prefer to? So the either, I'm looking for my compliance officer. How can you help us,
It's,
guide us
this
with
is
that?
all
one?
aspirational
Yeah.
and it's, life will eventually happen, so. Like I said, I am voluntarily choosing 1 year, as we've discussed offline.
Okay. So I'm gonna say the rest of the parents would be 2 years at this point, and just for clarity. And then I outlined kind of what we would do for the teachers at this point. Are you okay with that, Brian, to
Yes.
agree to a 2-year? And life does happen for me saying 2 years, but we'll see. Okay. So I don't think we need to do any sort of voting on that. It's just an understanding of, so in our minutes, we'll put your term next to your name. Okay. And then that's it for elections. And then, so the next item would be for officers. We have four officer positions on SSC. We have a chairperson. We have a co-chairperson. We have a secretary, and then we have a compliance officer. So at this point, I open it up to anybody who is interested in any one of the positions. And then we will.
Just some comments,
Yeah.
especially for new folks. So last year, it was the first time we had bylaws, and so we drafted them and voted on a block. And there was a lot of work that was done by the officers. There were 3 things that were done last year: bylaws, the parent family engagement policy, and then there was a family engagement survey that went along with the informed policy. Those represent a significant amount of time, especially for the officers. Things that are done now that may require some revisions, but themselves shouldn't represent the same time and effort. So the lion's share, if you will, of time and effort last year, the officers did a lion's share. The other members contributed to varying degrees, but the majority, a lot of the work was done by the officers. Along with that also came a sort of access, if you will, in that the officers were involved with meetings with the administration, and so there were sort of there were some side. It wasn't possible based on the mechanisms that we had last year for everyone to be involved in all the conversations. And so we reflected on that, and so the one idea that came out this year would be that the approach to the SSC would be more egalitarian, in that the access would be open to everybody, officers and non-officers. But becoming an officer you would based upon essential agreements that are forthcoming, accept additional responsibilities and time constraints, such as being on a rotating schedule, going to DLAC meetings, attending board of trustee meetings, attending monthly meetings with administration. And so those are things that you would take on as additional responsibilities, and really, so that was kind of the idea with that. Was there anything else that I'm leaving out?
No, just, time commitment. We all want to be mindful of time commitment. The officers definitely put more time into this. And then the regular committee members, usually it's about 2 to maybe 3 hours a month. But if you are going to be an officer, it is more hours. And then coordinating with admin, that's a big part of it. So I don't know if any new members are interested. I don't know the best way to do that, but I'm open with your approval to remain as chair, unless somebody else would also like to be chair. I think I'd be open for that. I got
I would
it.
like to say that.
Ah!
So I think you're having
Yeah.
in that position would be an amazing deal. I think that with that, I think that it should be a balance between the chairperson and the vice chairperson, that it be a parent and
Yeah.
the staff, and that we try to, although it's not in the bylaws, we try to maintain that balance. And so perhaps, you know, at the end of this year, then a parent would become the chairperson. But I think I second Megan's self-nomination.
So, well, I put my name in the hat. I think that, you know, Sean Powell was our secretary last year, and she left big shoes. She was phenomenal on the SSC. And she's not with us this year. And the secretary role is a big one, with recording the minutes and getting kind of our compliance issues. Is there somebody who wishes to step forward and fill those shoes? There is somebody.
There's a lot of moving wheels, and I feel like I'm kind of up to speed, with keeping track of details, and I would love to have that position.
I second. Not a second.
Yes.
We are for this one, because I don't quite know how to do it for this one. Okay, and then the compliance is kind of an interesting one. I think Sarah WR. Okay. And we completely respect that. And we love that you're with us this year for that continuity. Compliance is one that's, you know, it's like we did so much work with the bylaws last year and working with Dr. Shredda, and we're really streamlining our processes. But compliance would be the person that we might have some questions, and that person would do a little research with the CDE, or even asking the rest of us. So is there anybody that would be interested in that compliance?
Compliance and policy background.
Okay, nice. Okay. So we have.
I'll second.
Okay.
I didn't think twice.
I know.
Didn't feel well.
Yeah. And we totally understand, you know, as a new person, that I commend you for wanting to do that. But we were all new last year, and we're all here to support each other through all this. It is complicated. You saw how complicated it was. But we're on a really good pace here. So last would be the co-chair, and just a thought partner for all of us, and filling in when the chair is unable to make it. I know, is there anybody who would be interested? Oh, Sarah. That'd be awesome.
Parent and mainstream education. If she loved it.
I love that. And I got that thought partner concept from Sarah, and I use it in my practice. And I really value somebody who you can speak with and just kind of get to the base and foundation of things. And I really see all of us on SSC, we're small enough that I think we can do a lot of that. Okay, so chair would be me, co-chair would be Sarah Peterson, secretary would be Matt Hill, and compliance officer is Julia. Thank you. I was going to say Julia. Thank you, Julia. Thank you, everybody. And then the last thing just on our agenda under new business. Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Okay. So all in favor. Okay, compliance officers. Okay. So all in.
I'll
Yeah, the
do my person as a.
Okay, secretary. Okay.
All right, so
Not yet.
that block is 4. So Megan, Sarah, myself, and Julia. So Megan,
Aye.
okay. I'm gonna go I. Sarah.
Aye.
Brian. Rita.
Aye.
Sarah. Julia. Maria. In place of Andy.
Aye.
Okay. And then Veronica.
And
Yeah, you got it.
okay, thank you for that. I didn't know quite how to do that. And then the last thing on our agenda would be the annual meeting. We have it slated, it's not, for our next SSC meeting. It will be October, 3rd. And it just is gonna take some thinking. So we just wanna, see if anybody is willing to kind of be on a little bit of a small subcommittee to kind of do that thinking, especially with how to get this policy alive and out to families, how to educate our families with Title I, and to have that conversation. So what we're looking for is just kind of a willingness over the next month to kind of do that thinking for the annual meeting. Anybody want to add do you want to add anything to that?
So, I spoke with Tricia, after the training, and, she's available to us to kind of, advise some best practices. That was part of the original plan, but with all of our questions. We thought that, this is going to be a big deal. It should be the biggest meeting of the year. It's a requirement. Hopefully we're going to get a lot of participation, and it's going to be very meaningful. So we were hoping this would be an all hands on deck, so to speak, venture. We talked about the idea of starting a Slack channel, not only with the SSC members, but with the members of administration. And so with the combination of Slack and with a Google document, we're gonna sort of get that going this week, so that we can figure out, people's ideas, brainstorm, and then make a list of responsibilities that hopefully everybody can take one of those responsibilities. And then we got less than 28 days. Along with that, maybe for administration, so the thought had come up of, with respect to the parent family engagement policy, what the plan is for the rollout. And so we talked to Andy about that. Is it going to be a pamphlet? Is it going to be, we feel there should be some hard copy. And furthermore, if we were able to roll it out at the back to school night, that we have the largest audience to have that. And then perhaps even to, in addition to rolling out the policy, have a pamphlet or a flyer that we put out advertising it. So logistically, I don't know if you all know what the plan is with the policy at this point, or like making a hard copy. Do you guys know anybody?
No.
Yeah.
Well, no. I only knew I was attending this meeting less than 10 hours ago. So,
Yeah.
no.
So, I guess just my wondering, because you're talking about rolling out the same night as back to school night, and I don't know, you said something about it being like a big rollout. We don't have the capacity at the elementary school to do the large gathering. I wasn't sure what.
No, I was thinking
like
like we make stacks and they're in the classroom.
Oh,
So
okay.
parents
That's
take one
very
and they
doable.
take the
That's very
flyer,
doable, yes.
and so it's
Yes.
not, and maybe the teachers say, hey, check out the annual meeting, or at the most.
If it's in terms of just passing something out at BTSN, that's fine. Yeah, I don't think that's an issue.
We can even have, a couple easels out on campuses that say, make sure to come to the participation and things like that.
Nice. And what we'll do, I love that you're kind of brainstorming. We'll be meeting, and then we'll kind of help admin help us
Okay.
with kind of some of the things we need to help advertise that.
Is the event both middle school and elementary school? It's not clear to me.
They're
The back to
separate
school.
nights.
Yeah, they're different
So,
nights. They've always
we
been.
always do Thursday nights.
Oh,
We're the 20.
Because we have parents that
Yes. they
need
have
to go to both and they can't go to both in one
So,
night. Yeah.
so the middle school is the following week?
I forgot what it's on the calendar. I think it's
There's
the
the 21st.
yes, 21st, yeah,
For the 28th.
Got it. Are you doing
of
child-
October.
Are you guys doing childcare for the parents so they can be back to school?
It's a good question.
We have never done that. I
Yeah,
don't know
never
how
done
we do that for
No.
students.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it hasn't.
Just an idea, some other
Yeah,
schools in the
no.
area do it. And
Yeah,
I-
we're so large compared to most schools, honestly. I mean, we really do try and do childcare for most meetings. Because we know that that's really important to make, everything equitable. I will tell you what does happen is that families do end up coming and bringing their kids, even though we encourage them not to. We understand that there are families that you have to. So.
Okay, so just look for an email to how to start the Slack and to kind of just, if you can help out with something, that'd be great. So next thing on our agenda is we have an advisory committee report. This is a standing opportunity for DLAC, our District English Learner Advisory Committee, to present at our SSC. Last year, they did not present at every meeting, but they always had the opportunity, and we always hold a place for our DLAC to join us. When they did join us last year, it was a really powerful conversation. So we welcome this partnership, and we look forward to future hearing from DLAC at our meeting.
Thank you. So I know, I'm not sure if the committee members were aware of tonight. I know you've talked to Jennifer, but
Yeah.
we haven't had our first meeting yet. But I will update you on what it's looking sort of on a weird position.
I know.
Sorry, I've asked him to this whole time. Basically, we've done interest surveys, trying to pull in families, parents of our multilingual learners who are also English learners to run for our DLAC committee. And part of the reason why I wanted to do that was learning from SSC about the rotating new membership, because we don't want to all, jump ship at the same time kind of thing. And so I learned that from the SSC. This year we had less interest than last year. The interest survey just closed today, and I have two parents who are interested in running. And just like Patricia said today, because we were opening it up to 2 positions, we still have to vote on both parents, even though there are 2 positions and there's only 2 people running. So the ballots are to go out tomorrow. They go specifically to the families of our learners who are English learners. And unfortunately, as Patricia pointed out, because I did last year separate out the ballot because I said we want 1 parent or guardian from middle school. Or it wasn't 1, but it was more, more than that. But we wanted representation from both, as you alluded to earlier. Both of these parents are just elementary school parents. So we have to take what we can. I did reach out over and over to Cindy Alvarez because she's at the middle school and asked for help. And I know, I try to share with our whole staff. If you know any family members, please go out and talk to them directly to try and bring them in for this. So we're going to move forward, and we have a week of the voting, and then we'll welcome those new members on. And then we have the way I did DLAC last year, and it was new last year, just like SSC was, is we have sort of our planning meeting where we do training, because that's one of the requirements by law, is we have to train the committee members. So we're going to be doing that. And then we're going to have our open meetings starting after that. We have 4 legal tasks that we cover each year. And then at the end of the year, we did this last year too, where we had a reflection meeting with just our committee, talked about glows and grows, talked about our ideas on how we wanted to improve for this year. So that's it.
And we strongly, we talked about rotating, going to these DLAC meetings, but SSC noticed how incredibly welcoming these meetings are, the DLAC meetings are. And so as we design our meetings, we are taking a note from your page, is we are going to design our meetings more welcoming. And with that, just that spirit that DLAC has modeled for us. So thank you, DLAC, for doing that.
For those people that are mark their calendars way in advance, the first meeting is the 24th of October. That's the first open meeting for DLAC. It's on the calendar. I just went that. So I'm not. I was going to ask you whether it was elementary or middle school, but I think Sarah and Megan and I all went to meetings last year.
Yeah,
They were
they were
awesome.
phenomenal. Yeah.
So in the event that our annual meeting doesn't provide forum to discuss it. I recommend it, mark the calendar for that, or.
It is the 24th.
It's elementary or middle school?
It's elementary, and I did put that on all of the invites, alternating the locations.
And we did the same. SSC did the same.
What time is it? It is at 4:30. Usually we have our, what we call our mingle time, where we eat and get to talk to each other. And then from 5 to 6, we have the meeting.
And we're going to be doing the same format, that mingle time and then our official meeting.
The only difference, the big difference I think with DLAC is because most of our families who are multilingual learners, English learners, are native Spanish speakers.
That's
So
awesome.
all of the meetings are conducted in Spanish, and people are showing up or not fluent Spanish speakers, the headsets, they're translated in English.
That's really cool.
Yes.
It's really cool. Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you, Michelle. So we're at the point of our agenda where we have public comment, where members of the public can speak to the SSC. The SSC cannot act on any items that are not on the agenda, but we always welcome the opportunity to hear from our community. Each speaker will be limited to 3 minutes. Does anybody wish to address the SSC? Thank you for coming. Welcome. Welcome.
I just have one thing for more, if no one else has anything more informational, nothing actionable or anything like that, but this is a WASC year, so and one of the requirements of WASC is to gain I lost words right now, it's after 6
Me
p.m.
too.
so the brain's shutting down, sorry. Feedback from our parent groups, which includes DLAC and SSC. I'm gonna pass the puck to Mr. Trackus in October. He's gonna explain more what that means from your end.
Okay.
But parent input is a part of that WASP report, if any of you have been a part of that process before.
Well, we welcome that. And Andrea, is there anybody on Zoom that wishes to speak to the SSC?
No, not
Okay.
really.
Thank you. So, this is our next meeting will be, this concludes this meeting, September 5th, SSC meeting. Our next meeting will be held on Tuesday. They're always on a Tuesday, October 3rd, 2023, with the exception of November. That Tuesday in November is election day, and Dr. Shredda really is very strong about our civic duty. And so we wanted to honor that civic duty and have that meeting on Thursday of that week. So just notice that in your calendar. So thank you for attending today, and it is late. So we are ready, and your energy, I feel it, and thank you.
Thank you.